Hi guys, we're here for the annotated games and some illustrative games to learn from. Elijah will be starting with a hat. I promised Elijah promised me that if he gets the hat for a little bit, he will stay on subject.
Well, okay. First of all, I don't know if that's quite how I would phrase it, but it's okay. Anyways, the subject is quite broad, right? The subject is chess. Now, the subject can be much broader than that. We can connect this to systems theory. We can get philosophy involved. But let's not get too distracted yet. Let's start some games first. First, we'll be starting with a Capablanca Stonewall game.
Okay, so here we are. So we have d4, and this is a Stonewall, d4, d5, e3, bishop d3, David 3, c5, c3, and again, c5, dark tickle, c3, rebuilding, again, and bishop d6 is hitting some dark, and this is all standard. We've seen this before. Okay, and then here's an interesting thing. Okay, we've seen that c takes d, yeah, and then in some cases, black plays pawn takes pawn, then the bishop at f4 pawn gets weak. Black is trying to overthrow the essence of our dacha, which is the dark. Dark is the essence, but the juice, the energy flowing on light. We need to keep the dark supported. So Capablanca plays knight h3. This is a line that we could, I think, recommend sometimes if you guys feel like it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because a student was just asking, I think it was yesterday perhaps, and he was like, well, why don't we play knight h3 here? Because then we have other ideas, like we were playing the other knight to f3, and then...
Yeah, we could just show why. The idea of knight h3...
Yeah, the main idea is that we protected our pawn, which means that we can capture back with the e-pawn, which is preferable.
Preferable, yeah, good. So he tries this, and we could. This is an idea.
Before.
Yeah, this is an idea to keep the idea. Okay, so to keep in mind, castle, black castles, castle, knight e7. All right, black swing over, king h1. He's trying to swing stuff in, g4, g5. Yeah, it's a little different than our classical style, but that's fine. All right, bishop d7, knight f3. Swing is knight into e5. 95. Now, again, in this case, e4 is a little, if you show e4 a little bit tender.
So it's a little loose. Like, normally in the standard setups, we want to keep this protected. So right now, it feels like in these early games, they didn't understand some of the nuances perhaps as well, and it's more loose, more experimenting. Though, to be fair, bishop d6 is somewhat of a critical setup, threatening the f4 pawn, so you have to decide how you're responding there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but queen e8.
Well, you may have that insect repellent.
Knight f2, I was thinking the exact same thing. Just a second. Yeah, knight f2 it couldn't be played. And I think it happens. Yeah.
And we don't even need to worry about this anymore because f4 is secure.
Yeah. f2 juice, light juice. Yeah. So queen e8. Yeah, queen e8 is looking to play bishop boy5. He's looking to trade light square bishops. That's kind of important there.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays a4 to stop that. A4.
Yes. This is like Fischer for Trojan, right? No, Caro-Kann, which is actually very similar.
I don't know the game.
Okay, b3.
Bishop and Trojan.
And the exchange Caro, which is very similar to the structure.
Yeah. I know the game, but I forgot A4. Okay, anyways, I know me a little bit. Okay, b3, b5. Pawn takes. We could just see how it plays out. Yeah, b5. He's expanding. A takes. Take. Pawn takes c5, which is a little different than usual, but he's opening up the dark. A little creative way to play. Just some ideas. This is okay. Hold on. So he plays queen e2. Tickling the b4, the b5, and black plays b4. Yeah, he pushes. White's happy to take and bishop boy 2, and the bishop's pretty strong.
Yes, this is so similar to what was it, Lasker versus Bauer, right? And then we have the Greek gift ideas potentially after. I'd be thinking about g4, g5, but that long diagonal looks a little bit dangerous.
Maybe we tell students the game Lasker versus Bauer. That's a good homework to.
Was it 1887?
I think they may have only played once, maybe. But yeah, it's a famous double bishop sack. Bishop e2 piling on.
Horwitz bishops or Rubinstein bishops?
Yeah, very good. Queen David 8. Knight g5. Notice that both knights are tickling light, right? They're both tickling the light squares.
Dark with light intentions. You have that light leverage.
Absolutely. Bishop a8 keeps his bishop. Knight g4, and opening up and hitting everywhere. And h7 is also hitting there, yeah. Knight g6. So we're going to actually, I think, we've talked in the Stonewall about how important the pawns on dark, flowing energy on light. That's pawns on dark, energy on light. And we're going to see this game as a great, I thought this was one of the reasons why we picked it. Of course, Capablanca playing the Stonewall, we can't not show it. Capablanca, one of the most legendary, maybe the most legendary player of all time. I mean, in my opinion. But here we're seeing some really great light ideas. Bishop takes f6, and if we if we go back and say, I just show the arrow here, the bishop takes a bishop tickling f6. The trade would basically mean that we're losing dark. We're trading at 1,000 dark,
but getting light
for 500. So we're losing net 500 dark. We're gaining 500 light. We're going to be happy to have that because light is an important color. Why? That's nice to say, fancy to say. Well, light's important. Why is that? It's because the bishop on d3 is already firing. It's because the pawns allow the pieces to focus on light.
Knight h6, knight takes f7,
queen e2
queen
already is light energy. Queen e2. So I think that's, again, sometimes we thought it's abstract. It's nice to kind of give a little perspective here. I think light is a clear objective and clear high value. Bishop takes f6, and he doubles the pawns as well. Pawn takes knight h6. Notice how both knights are on dark.
On dark, but with light intention.
With light intention. Well, on dark, yeah, and it's always on dark. Is always kind of cool. Someone was told me.
Sometimes these are somewhat mysterious.
It's kind of cool how a knight shows harmony. Is intrinsic because a knight on dark always hits light. It's kind of an epitome of some harmony. It's kind of cool. It's something pure about that. Yeah. So,
boom.
Knight takes f7.
Oh, and maybe if they'd taken here, we'd get that fork going.
Yeah. Exactly. Knight takes f7, hitting light, and again e6 is really really nice, hitting the queens and winning the queen. Queen h5.
Brilliant.
And again, the queen on dark is kind of cool. We always say the queen on dark is acting as a second bishop.
That's
again,
right.
There's a lot. Hold on, we got to go a little clearer here. But again, so if we go back 1-2 moves, so queen h6 here is fine. Yeah, he's hit, and then queen h6 dipping in, and then if king back, and then knight takes g5. Yeah, I mean he can't take; it's too dangerous. Okay, so maybe just pawn takes pawn check, and then h4 is of course winning everything. And queen takes, that's okay. And then queen h, so we'll go back to the line. King go g8, knight takes g5. Again, the pressure, the mate threat is h7, and that's, of course, a light square. And he just resigns. Yeah, I mean, again, queen e7, I think bishop takes g6. Bishop takes g6, pawn takes, queen g7. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We don't need to see it. But if queen g7... we just trade queens, probably. Take, knight takes, and we win. Okay, this is a long variation, but the idea is we broke through on light, and that was again very classic of how the Stonewall plays. Oozing light ideas.
Very nice game. Capablanca Ayla, 1911. Nice historical development. And continuing on historical development, we have a couple of older games by Preston Ware. Preston Ware versus Max Weiss here.
Okay, here we go. D4, D5, F4. A little bit early. We said to instead of pawns on dark.
We want to be flexible. We want to have that insect repellent first. E3, bishop D3, knight D2, and try to push black away from these bishop F5 lines.
We'd like a little bit of light juice, and to stop black from getting involved. Okay, this is
It's an older game.
This was a game, and they maybe didn't fully understand the harmony. E6, go ahead.
But they didn't take advantage. Knight F6, bishop F5 would have been.
We can see how it played. Yeah, it's so far normal enough. E3, and then he came back. He started a little funny, but came back. Bishop D3, infusion of light. And we could keep on seeing them. Yeah, all standard.
All standard. I just want to note though, black did always have this option. So.
He could have played 94, and once he plays F5. That's again something you want to avoid.
It's okay, but we are aiming for more.
No, it's not okay.
Well, it's
not okay.
I mean, we don't get to attack anymore.
Yeah. Black is at least equal. Okay, so A6, and this is too easy for black to play, but A6.
Knight bishop D2. It's maybe knight D2 is more standard, though we have to calculate this because of takes. Bishop takes F4. We have to take back with the C pawn, or maybe knight E5 and then knight D2. And then if we got that in, we'd be doing very well.
Yeah, and I think this game he plays Bishop D2, which I think this is this is kind of why we picked this game, just to show an idea of Bishop D2. All right, so Bishop D2.
Yeah, when I played the Stonewall with reverse colors recently, I showed my game to Timur Gurayev, and he's like, well, why didn't you play this typical maneuver instead of the weird queenside stuff that you did? So,
okay. Castle, okay.
A3.
Okay, so right, B6.
Okay, I mean, if we played Bishop E1, then we'd have time for knight D2 playing for light, and this is maybe not great harmony.
H3 a little slow as well. Bishop E7.
But it was an older game. We can cut him some slack.
Knight E4.
And F5 probably here. But
yeah, so he should have supported the knight, but he took, and then the queen takes. Yeah, why the queen?
the queen would take because we'd like to play bishop h4.
Yeah, the bishop wants to go to h4. Okay, so knight a5 is, of course, no, knight a5, what's the threat? The threat is c4, knight c4, knight b3, right? The threat
Knight b3?
The knight's trying to come in, and the knight's trying to infiltrate on light. Okay, fine, rook d1, knight c4.
Finally, the light squares. Okay, then we can play knight g5 and queen h5.
And it's nice, again, a little note here, queen on e2 is symbolic of light. I think it's on a light energy. All right, here we go. So knight a5.
The symbol of light is especially relevant as our pawns are all in dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bishop h4, the bishop is happy. Knight g5, and again, knight on beginning to tickle, little signs of light. Light at the end of the tunnel, right? There was a tunnel. There was a bit of a tunnel. That bishop was in the tunnel.
The tunnel can be very long sometimes. But at the end of the tunnel,
light.
There is light.
There's light, yes. And there shall be light. Let there be light. Okay?
Indeed. Always let there be light.
Let there be light. Okay, h6, and the queen h5 is, he can't take the knight because of queen h7 mate. We just show that for a second. Pawn takes, queen h7 mate, okay. Good.
I mean, they could.
They could. They happily could. They could.
Also, this is kind of interesting. G6.
Well,
then we just take the pawn.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the light sacrifice at first, but there was no need. Just very simple.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. Knight c4. He tries to get counterplay.
Yes, the light breakthrough.
Knight takes c6 is kind of cool, and we did see that in a game against Nicholas Cheka.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You guys want to I think it's a cool reference to see the previous chapter against Cheka.
Norris Cheka in the 3-minute blitz game online, and then there was knight h4, knight g6, light coming in there.
Yeah, it was actually really kind of similarities there. So f takes e again. It's not by chance the light, because the overflowing light from the dasha that's going over.
I just really want to point out the light rebuilder is gone, the wrong side of the board. And we're all attacking on light here. Well, queen and bishop's quite a lot.
Yeah, pawn takes, queen g6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and threatening mate or swords or just queen h7. Rook f5, he tries to block. Yeah, okay, rook f5, yeah. We don't want to. We
could, but why would we give up light like that?
We don't want the rook. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. This is going back to. I was remembering it. Okay. It's. Oh, darn it. This is chess. We're on topic.
It's okay.
It's colors. Okay, so this was Attacking Manual 1 by Jacob Agard from puzzles I was solving maybe 3 years ago. And I remember a similar position where it was a lot different than this. It was somewhat similar. The main idea was I had the option to take an exchange, but then my remaining bishop would be bad and the weak color complex could no longer be exploited. Jacob Agard annotated it as blunder. And I'm like, whoa, the colors are that important?
Yeah, the bishop. You gotta respect the bishops, yeah.
You deserve the hat.
I do.
You know how to keep it chill. I need to keep learning from you.
Thank you. Okay, the bishop on b7 is also, we can note that his light square bishop is so far away that our light square bishop is almost like a quasi golden bishop. I think it's fair to say.
Yes, exactly, the golden bishop.
Yeah.
Unopposed bishop. Yeah. And we have also a favorable assault ratio, as Tal, Agard, and Collins would put it, I think. Was it Collins? Attacking technique? Anyways, okay.
Queen takes and come right back, and now, of course, rook f5, because there's no button on e6. We just show queen g6. But now no rook f5, obviously, because now you lose a rook.
Yeah.
But you took the button, come back. e6, a light button. You see, the e6 pawn was not just a pawn. When we took e6, that e6 pawn, e6, we'll show when we took that...
Light rebuilder is gone.
That was a light rebuilder, which is no longer.
We got their mini bishop.
Yeah. Okay, queen g6, coming back, queen h7, dipping right in. Yeah, pins, nice little, okay, we can see that plays out.
What a shame that we ate those cheesecakes already, because I'm already tasting it here.
Bishop f7, we're looking on light. We notice how we're hunting the king, it's on light, okay, queen g6.
Despite black's active king, he's losing.
Yeah. And his king, we're going to hunt him on light this game, it's really nice. Rook takes.
Despite, not because.
It's a lot of lines, but here, again, I think it's important to just see the light. Notice the bishop on dark, queen on e6 light. If a good reference, f5 pawn. Again, just a kind of cool similarity is Arena Crush, also f5.
Oh, that's true. Your blitz game against Arena Crush, the 4-minute game on ICC from 1998, was it?
The first game in the previous chapter.
Right, she played the bishop e7 line in the Stonewall.
Well, when we played f5, which was important light rebuild, it's a kind of cool similarity. I think those two games, if you guys want to check that out if you feel like it. Okay, king c6. The queen is acting as a light bishop. We have a pawns on light. Queen e2 coming back. If queen c4, I think we could show that. If he goes queen c4,
well, I mean,
then a4.
Do you really think there's enough light in his position for that?
A4, Queen C5, Bishop F2, mate. Bishop F2.
Oh, mate?
Well, I mean, may
Wow.
well be mate. Well, okay, Bishop F2, Queen blocks. Then I guess Rook. Anyways, it's the Queen's over. It's over. It's yeah. So, but okay. We go back a second. So
It's like when you have positions like these, who needs food? Well, I mean, who needs
Bishop
food
F2.
anyway?
Bishop F2 probably is better. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, fine. So we go back. He goes King A4 and Queen C2 on light and A4 little light nugget. A4 can show the A4 and D5.
Mm-hmm.
A4 D5 Queen C2 and light nuggets and hunting him.
And of course, Black's main defenders are on dark.
And he resigned here. If we just show why he resigned, Bishop takes, Pawn takes. It's kind of cool.
He resigned because free
He
queens
was the
are
queen, yeah.
pretty good.
You could probably
We
mate
also
him
could do
actually,
like
but
this.
there's a saying. The Russian saying says, if you see a mate, if you see a free piece, even not even a queen, you see a mate, take the free piece because the mate may not be there.
Plus, who wants to end the game so soon? I mean, you just gotta keep enjoying, right?
Yeah.
Just relax.
But again, just
opponent can resign
a
if they want
clean
to.
piece. You don't need to get too combo. Yeah, here's a queen. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the...
Just enjoy. Okay.
All right, so that was an interesting game. Fine. Next game we have Preston Ware.
Yeah, he messed it up this time, unfortunately.
This was the same player, and Preston Ware actually, well, I think we give a little historical perspective. Very, very strong player in the 1800s, late 1800s, and he was playing the Stonewall, I think, quite a bit. I actually don't know how much, but he was definitely playing it a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
And these were some games, and this is the game actually he got outplayed by James Mason. I assume certainly a strong player. I don't know much about him though, to be honest. And this is a good example of kind of mentality, what not to do. I mean, I think there's something to learn from this. So we'll see. D4, okay.
D4.
D5, F4.
Bishop F5.
Yeah, he's clamping down. James Mason is clamping on the light. He's punishing the lack of light of F4. So much dark, not enough light. We can see how it plays out. Okay,
Yeah,
E6.
that's why we don't recommend an immediate F4.
E3. Yeah.
E6. Bishop
Yeah.
D3.
Yeah, Bishop D3 is okay. If he takes, we did say, again, if the student wanted you to take back with a pawn, yeah, exactly, with a pawn, good. Okay, and here we have, if Bishop takes Bishop, we take back with the pawn, because the pawn acts as?
A replacement light, no, it's a light rebuilder.
Light rebuild and a mini bishop, tiny mini bishop of its own. So Black does not take. We see how Black actually takes credit, did not take. It goes back to G6.
Bishop G6, and our light's a little bit loose.
Yeah, castle, C5, C3.
C3. I mean, even here, it's
Yeah,
like, I want to,
say.
it's hard to rebuild at this
It's
point.
hard to rebuild. C5, C3, knight C6, okay, A3.
Ah, this is the wrong
Bishop
color.
takes, yeah, queen takes.
Well,
Yeah, the problem here is that we don't have enough light. Yeah, we have all the pawns on light, and we have on dark. All the pawns on dark, but no light. There's no harmony. There's no bishop. We actually would like to play E4 though, but we can't.
Yeah, but we
right
can't
away.
because the F4 pawn.
We can't do this of F4.
So 95.
95, okay, 95 is played. 97, E4 should be played. He does, and he does. To be his credit, he does. E4 is a light, helping on light rebuild. Pawn takes, take, queen takes.
We have this bishop though. How are we ever getting it out?
No, it's very subtle. I actually think that the move here, it's incredible. The move what has to be played. It's incredible, and the only way to find this move is to know what Black's idea is, and then to do. And the best move is Bishop David 2. No, sorry, Queen E2. I believe. Yeah, Queen E2. It's really important.
Oh wow,
Queen
that's
E2,
incredible.
I believe, is the best move. Yeah,
incredible. Wow.
Queen E2 is the best move. White's not worse.
So Black's idea in this position.
Well, we have to see. First see Queen E2. Queen E2, and then Black will hit that. He'll get the bishop out. If Bishop takes knight and pawn takes, Black.
If he plays F5, we always take it.
Always better. Always much better.
We always have this, and there's the F file, and White's just having a significant advantage.
The dark bishop is not a problem. It's light energy and dark. No, it's okay. It's okay. F7 is a long-term issue. Bishop G5 to F6, no problem. White's better mating attack down the road. If we go back a move, this is actually really important for the student to take note. And I think Queen E2, and that's good. But the problem is he made a normal move.
Bishop D2.
Which is very logical.
I mean, maybe we do this.
Oh,
maybe we do
Bishop
this.
D2 is 100% logical. 100%. The only reason Bishop D2 is not correct is because of exactly Black's move.
I've seen this though.
Black plays F5.
I've seen this though in at least one of your online blitz games. This has to be a really typical idea for Black. F5 and then Bishop takes E5.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Typical. It happens. It is what it. No, if we see go back a move. So again, F5 is an in between move. Queen E2.
If there wasn't Bishop takes E5, F5 is weakening, right? But they're going to exchange.
Yeah, he does F5 first. The queen goes back, and then he takes. The problem is that it's the same exact position.
We don't have en passant anymore.
It's the same exact position, except the pawn is, instead of being on f7, it's an f5, and it's light years away. There's no pressure.
Light years away.
That's funny. Knight d5 is coming. White is worse instead of much better. It's not close. And there's a problem. Again, the color money is that white's ahead on dark, behind on light.
The position is locked, and they have the rebuild. Black's
ahead on light, and his light counts for more. I mean, there's no even... Black doesn't even need it. He's just gold. He doesn't need to rebuild. He just in heaven. White has nothing. He has a queen, which is praying for breakthrough. And we'll see how white tries to break through on light, but it doesn't work.
It's just not enough.
The reason why it's not enough, by the way, is because he's fighting an uphill struggle.
We have no...
He's behind on light. He's behind. He's behind on light. Maybe, Eli, you want to explain why he's behind on light?
He's behind on light because the bishop is incapable of controlling the white squares, but black's knight is capable of controlling the white squares. So black has a long-term superiority there. Not to mention that white's pawns are already almost all on dark squares, and black's pawns are almost all on light squares. So where are we going to attack? Are we going to try to prove that our dark money is more valuable? Well, we can, but the pawns and the bishop are getting in each other's way. We don't even have space on the king side. The center is locked. We're fighting an uphill. It just doesn't work. The black has already won the color battle.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to play this. The queen's on the board is bad. Off the board is bad. We'll see how it plays out. We could kind of scroll through it, but it's really cool how black plays to win the g5. And look how he plays g4. Look at this g4. He's just breaking in.
If takes, then probably.
I mean, rook takes. And look how it's on light. He breaks in, and he's going to pile in, get the queen around. The dark bishop isn't terrible, but it has no real play, and there's no light. More importantly, there's no point. Rook takes f5 is kind of cool.
It's creative.
If we see what it means, because pawn will take. The idea is to, queen takes, and white's doing okay here.
Maybe these pass pawns offer some counterplay.
Oh, yeah. But the problem is that black does a little in-between move. I think we could, take.
It's just not
enough. He does h3 first, and then...
Too many pawns.
Yeah, e6, again, e6, we have to say something here, because e6, if you go... E6 is
finally a light rebuild.
The intentions are pure.
It's intending well, but it's also too little, too late.
It's rebuilding on light, but too little, too late. But to be fair, if white had one more tempo, he may win, like queen e5, d5, and if we just show that, like white would love to play like queen and then d5, and it's just the d5 and the e6 is light. It's like kind of cool light, and but he never gets it. It's one move away. So rook g6, yeah.
Hope springs eternal.
Queen e5, yeah. And then he tries to advance, but it doesn't really quite work.
Not fast enough. The king's in the square. So otherwise we'd actually be pretty fast.
Yeah.
They have time.
Oh yeah, it's only king h2, and now the rook is kind of taming it, and then take, and it's.
This is not working. Black won the endgame in a couple of moves.
And black wins, of course. Yeah, that's nice. And notice how even the queen, he queens on h1. When did he queen on h1? It's not by chance. That's a light square. Not by chance. The queen square on light. It's not not at all by chance. He sacked the bishop. He sacked the rook, and then he queen on light. He broke him on light. He shows that you never had light, and you still don't have light. You don't have light, and you never did have light. It's a symbolic. It's something symbolic. And there are other ways to win. I almost feel like he picked it to make up statements.
The statement is you can't just wake these dark square weaknesses without rebuilding light. You got to have.
It all boils back from move 2. That's kind of
cool.
We
got to move here instead. Move bishop d3, light, insect repellent, knight d2, and then f4. Here it's like we're gonna have that light attack, but oops, we're behind on light, and so it just never worked. And we could have tried, but it wasn't enough.
Okay, good. Okay, so now we have marshaled a nice game. We could just kind of see quickly. This isn't really a little different than some of the lines, but we'll just see a classic game played by the Stonewall, by one of the greatest. Both of them are one of the greatest players in history.
Queen F3 is
light rebuild. Again, not quite what we recommend, but it's kind of cool. Knight H3 is similar to Capablanca. Knight F2. A lot of light. Look how all the pieces on light. I mean, you got to applaud him for that.
Respect. Marshall.
All the energy on light. All the energy. This. Yeah, so it's opposite. It's kind of funny, the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Preston Ware versus James Mason. And this game, how there's so much light here, maybe almost too much. No, you don't even have a knight on e5. It's a shame. You almost want to have
that's part of the point. And now we're like controlling e4, but we're not getting as much of an attack yet.
But it's kind of interesting, the contrast. You have a lot of light. In the previous game, you had no light, and it's something interesting to see. All right, castle. E4.
E4.
That's E4, and again, it works. It works because
Like,
normally it doesn't work because you can't take d4 e5 as a big threat.
yeah, but we're threatening the fork, and if we start
Yeah.
exchanging, we have this
And that's what
tempo.
happened. That's what happened. He did exchange, yeah. And the problem is for black, the bishop is misplaced, and he takes again.
Bishop pair is kind of nice.
Again, we've seen this before where sometimes take on c5. There are times when d4, you know what? It's no longer helping you. It's no longer helping you. Let it go. It's okay. And you take c5. We've seen that in some variations. And in the pseudo cheesecake or something. But here he does the same thing, and now he has a queenside majority. You don't doggedly, I think that's how you say, doggedly hang on to d4. There are times when you take c5 and you just say, hey, I have enough. I have a bishop, I have a queenside majority. I don't need more than that. a4. Okay, so here we are, a4. Okay, let's see how it plays out. And white has the golden dark square bishop, and he has. If we go back a move. He's trying to play bishop d4. He's trying to play bishop e5, trying to, it's symbolic of showing off his golden bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, black plays f6, which is dark rebuild, mini bishop on dark, rook e1, rook e8. Okay, just kind of seeing the flow of things. a5, very aggressive, the queen side. And b6, yeah, symbolic, yeah.
Yes.
Of dark, yeah.
Which is our golden bishop. We have extra dark money, we should use it. Breakthrough.
That's good. Queen c6. Okay, bishop takes.
I was barely able to hold myself off from going on some historical tangent there.
He's cracking on what color? What color is he cracking? The queen's eating everything up on
dark.
On dark, but you need a little more light. You need light too. You have a lot of dark. Now is a big blow.
Light.
We could explain this certainly in variations, but you really want to see what's really happening when you do things. Firstly, that will help show you what to do, and secondly, it'll give you more perspective.
Okay, we are threatening this promotion. Rook takes. Rook check, king moves back, and then we get to take on a8.
Yeah, it's just breaking through, yeah. Okay, so A takes B. Okay, queen e5. Oh, that's fine. And now check.
Well, that's more than one way to win. White has just a strong initiative.
We're seeing something build up. He trades queens, which is all right.
Well, White had won a pawn. It's an extra.
No, he wins another pawn. Yeah, now rook b1. He wins a second. Yeah, he wins a second.
It's
that's
just
why.
a matter of technique now.
And that's fair. Well, we could say in this game, trading one advantage for another. You're getting attacked.
Yeah, transformations.
And notice how b6 falls and e6 is beginning to get weak as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fine. And king g2. Okay, hold on.
Light rebuild.
Hold on. If you check right away, king postulate.
Oh no, the king postulate's coming for you. Whatever will we do?
And then you never know what will happen, right?
Well, we do know what will happen, but it's not good. It is looking good. But
so you want to stop the king from getting in, so go back a move. The king on g2. If you go back
let's just, I want to show a variation real quick, just to emphasize the power of the king postulate.
That's nice, yeah.
And white loses. Now, white didn't have to do that, but remember, the opponent can always, you always have to watch out for a king postulate. Okay, so we gotta prevent the king postulate with a light rebuild. It's a nice color harmony.
G2, yeah. King on g2.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually behind light. We may be ahead in pawns, we're ahead 2 pawns, but it's always, even in the great positions, especially in the great positions, ask yourself, I always feel when you're much better,
what's the opponent's
ask yourself
idea?
That, but also what's the problem? Find a problem. Find something wrong. In bad positions.
And then solve
Find something right. And try to make it count for something. In good positions, find something wrong, because you already have everything great. Find an issue. I'm behind, but I'm so good. Find a problem. Find a problem, because you can find good things, but you're not going to be on top of things. So he'll find the problem in your position. You find, I'm so great, but you know what? I actually don't have light. King g2 is the final light rebuild. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay, rook c6. Rook e5 and g4.
More light?
Yeah, it's very good, yeah. And now...
Symbolic?
Again, if you just show f5, f5 was a pin, right? f5,
yes, pin.
You can't take because it's the knight. Okay, that's fine. Knight David 5, bishop d4. Yeah, no rush, and he's up 2 pawns. Force to trade rooks, okay.
And then black decided that he didn't want to play on because of this, of course.
Yeah.
Makes the queen.
Yeah.
Some very interesting light ideas. Maybe not as thematic as normal, but you might as well see.
No, I think that was good. That was different than normal, but I think extremely thematic in terms of colors.
Yeah, from the colors perspective, more so than the exact Stonewall ideas.
Exactly. Okay, the next game is kind of cool. This is one of my favorites that I've played in the Stone. One of my favorites, period. Blitz game I played against Topalov. This is against Topalov. Okay, d4, d5. Okay, Knight David 2. I don't know what year this was. It was like 2010, 2008 maybe.
Get light?
Yeah. What year was this? Like 2007, 2008?
I think this was. It doesn't show.
Okay,
Doesn't
okay,
show.
we're not
Doesn't
sure.
show.
But it was around like 2006, 2007. Okay, fine. So, and again, if we just show this this variation, yeah, this 92 line. Oh,
Well,
yeah, this is actually really
we haven't
important.
played F4 yet, so
This
we
is really important
play
because
against their bishop.
I'm gonna say one thing. We actually have not gone into depth. We have not really touched this at all in instructive games. So in analysis lines. So this is very, very important to this game to learn this line. Okay, so we're gonna be clear about that. Now this game actually is an essential game to look at. We're gonna spend a touch more time. 90 when they play Bishop G4, you play 92 to you don't want to block with a knight f3, so you have 92. That's the recipe I came up with some years back, many years back. Okay, knight d7. Okay, he plays knight David 7. He's trying to play e5. Okay, he's trying to play e5. Normal instinct is to play f4. Many of my students say, "Oh, f4," but you don't play it because then the knight on e2 doesn't make sense. The knight on e2. If we just show that, the knight on e2 is misplaced. It doesn't work. Okay, so the recipe I came up with is f3. He goes back. Knight f4, swing the knight in. He goes to g6, take, and now f4. It all comes together.
And note the color harmony here. Black is not going to get knight e4 in. We already have the light rebuild, and so we can afford to play on dark. Ultimately, for light purposes.
And our light bishop is?
Our light bishop is
golden bishop.
Oh, that's true. So it's like it's not only bishop pair, but the most valuable bishop is the bishop the opponent doesn't have. So that's the color we'll be playing on.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna squeeze. Even though he's solid on light, he has a little like G6. We can show the point. He has a lot of pawns on light.
Little rebuilders right there.
And even G6, F7. He's gonna put E6 soon, but we still have a golden bishop, which should prove itself. All right, E6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, knight f3, castle. All right, knight f3 coming.
That's a really. Is this?
You have to play knight f3. Because again, good positions. You have to ask yourself, what are you behind? What's wrong?
Oh, right, we're behind on dark.
Behind on dark. It doesn't mean it's a problem, but it means it's downside. It's a down. You have to think. I don't care how good my position is. What are you behind? Find a problem. Find a problem. What are you behind? You're behind on dark. Okay.
Maybe I'm better at making problems than finding problems.
If you know you're behind dark, hold on. If we go back a second, that means that it's saying, you know what, black deserves to crack us on dark. He deserves it. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, that's true. G5.
No. We don't have. We could say blind. You could close your eyes and say, you know what, I'm behind dark. Black is supposed to be deserved. Doesn't mean he will. You could put in repellent, insect repellent. But he's a piece up. You better know your place. Be humble. Say, hey, he's ahead on dark.
Right,
G5 is coming. And this F3, you stop it.
And this light sort of rebuild is only a defensive for the time being. We want to be aggressive on light eventually.
You know what? Light will have you have to protect. First step in winning. Not losing. I don't care. Light is good and all well. If you don't stop G5, you lose. Done.
Yeah, I need to work on not losing. I think my biggest weakness in chess is losing games.
All right, that's good. That's fine. All right. I have 3. Yeah.
94. Well, that's what I was kind of concerned about.
Yeah, so 94 is kind of right. We're not so concerned. I mean, there's a specific right here. We take and then knight G5.
Right. And that's weakness over here. But then knight F6.
Again, we're losing light, but you can't play F5.
Right, I was just remembering that game against, was it Arena Crush? I think it was.
It was also Arena Crush, yeah, very good, where we tickle on light, yeah.
Oh, but then the light comes back.
Yeah, notice, in this position, we're going to play Queen C2. I used to play C3, but C4 is the best move.
C4, light rebuilder. And plus, it's the opposite color of our bishop. So we can build a mini bishop, even B3 if we need to.
Yeah, C4 also it stops his queen. If Queen A5... If we show for a second, Queen A5 in some cases, Queen loses squares. He wants to go to D5. It doesn't have it, so he's going to run out of defenders.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. C5 is played.
More light.
Queen A4 check, and there's actually an interesting moment where it's funny how effective Queen A4 is, because Queen D7 doesn't work, and you just take the queen. He loses a pawn. F7 again. What color is F7?
Light.
And here, what color?
Light.
Also light. It's not by chance, and he's outplayed. He's running out of fuel. He's too much. He has to move his king, and then we're very happy. And I played before, very energetic play. I was pretty happy about this. Queen E8,
just crushing
I'm
initiative.
trying to jump on him again. Bishop A3, trying to jump on him, and C6, opening up the diagonal. Queen takes A7, breaking in. Again, this is very wild. He's attacking us, so we have to see a little slower here, a little bit slower. But Queen A, this is
he has no
go
pieces.
Back a few moves. Yeah, we have to go back a few. Again, it's our queen's coming in, trying to get involved. Our king, but I mean the king is a little unsafe, and it got wild here. But this was queen takes b7. There might have been easier ways, but okay. So knight e3, take. B6 was important. Yeah. Oh, so this is actually a key moment. No. What's that? Queen D2. Hold on. Queen D2 is threatening mate, and it's kind of weird because there's no stopping mate. It's like if we don't mate him or distract, we lose.
So I guess the solution is simple. We just have to win the game.
The first step in not losing is winning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and how do you win? You play for a draw.
Maybe. It's a lot to figure this out. I don't know about all this. No. Okay, but here we have Queen C8. Again, notice also G2 is symbolic. It's not light. He's trying to hit us saying, hey, I'm getting there.
We're missing our bishops.
Light is always a key color in the stone wall. Yeah, we both don't have bishops, so light is high value. Bishop D8, and now it's a kind of play. We want to have a student
find the tactic.
Take a pause here, what to do, and there's we'll take a moment. And you could see, and if you want to,
as my brother Gus would always say, when in doubt, sack your queen. And I'm always in doubt. Obviously, we play queen takes d8 here.
Queen takes d8, distracting, and then you go ahead.
Takes,
and then
c7.
C7. Yeah.
I mean, you can go back if you wish to get checkmated.
Yeah, c8 on light. It's on light, not by chance. Yeah.
So
Queen
blockade.
C8. Yeah.
And there's lots of ways now, but I
think even Rook B1 might have been the easiest.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Actually, I'm not sure.
I was wondering about these.
So then Queen B. Yeah.
You're still gonna push. The main idea is that you're getting your material back.
Yeah, knight D6, and then we're winning. Yeah. No, it's completely over because Rook D8. And Bishop C5, that's a cool...
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the knight's never moving for one thing. And then we have that, and then we're going to win with the C pawn.
And they get a new queen, yeah, it's very direct.
I mean, free queens are pretty good.
Dominating the knight, right?
Distance 4! Thomas Luther.
Okay, yeah. I think it's been around since like the 1600s, but okay.
Well, Thomas Luther's the one who named it.
Okay, oh yeah, it's good. No, I'm sure, yeah, okay.
Who was the one who did it in the 1600s?
No, I'm exaggerating, but it's been around a while. It's an idea that bishop dominates the knight that way.
Checkmate wins the game. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish there was a little more light symbolism there, but once you promote the pawn, you can win however you'd like.
Right. I mean, I think it switched light dark, a lot of different colors.
Maybe there was dark.
Oh no, we had a dark light, and we had a golden dark bishop.
Oh, that's true.
We still
true.
do.
And it was like light with dark intentions.
Yeah, I believe so. Or dark with light.
I don't know. You gotta. Sometimes like you go one way, you go the other. It's like about balance.
It was a lot. I mean, to be fair, I think it was back and forth, but we were ahead on dark at the end, but certainly we were in a lot of important battles with even Queen C8 on light and C7, B7, Knight D6. So there was a tactical game with some color ideas. Especially important though is I think the opening. To know that line, I mean that's going to come up a lot. There's no question you guys are going to have that a lot with Bishop G4, and I think it's important to take note of this. Okay, knight E2 line. All right. During this is a Grandmaster on ICC. Fine. This was a kind of cool game, similar to last game. We could kind of scroll through it. The same line again, knight F4. Again, we don't have this in an annotated an analysis.
It's important.
This is important to study.
It's important to understand what you're doing against the early Bishop F5 or Bishop G4 lines because they're about fighting for light. If Black plays some passive line, you just play the normal setup.
Yeah, okay. Knight F is similar. He jumps in, but the Knight G5 and fights back on light. And C4, again, we see C4 instead of C3.
It's just the same. And
then Queen A4, yeah, we see it again, Queen A4 check. It's even worse. I think it's even worse than last game.
I think he didn't want to handle this. So, well...
Yeah, we take, and he...
Free pawns are pretty good.
Just pause here for a second. It's super cool position where it's almost like humor here, where it's like fun. It's unexpected. You're like, what? What just happened? And then you realize you're losing a pawn. But is it a fluke? No, it's not a fluke. It's because you wore him down on light. You just have too much. We gave our light bishop, but gave up one advantage for another. For a weak pawn, knight G5, toppling over, hitting E4 and F7. I mean, it's the right place at the right time. The knight's the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Free pawns are pretty good.
Yeah, he gives that pawn up.
More light?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. B3 is light rebuilding. B3, knight takes.
Light builder.
2. Yeah, centralize King Postulate, beginning of King Postulate.
Yeah, King Postulate.
The king of my plan here was to go D3, E4, and go straight for the B7 pawn. Okay, I'm kind of joking, but
After, some trades
After,
and stuff.
yeah, call
No,
maybe
rook
1, 2, or
C1,
40
D5.
moves. Maybe.
Eventually. Well, the king's on E4, and it's like Shirashevsky said in his book Endgame Strategy, centralization of the king is the most important endgame principle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, the king postulates a very natural strategy, especially in the endgame. If you try it in the middle game, it will be like the endgame because it's about to be the end of the game, if you catch my drift. You gotta develop feel for it.
He resigned here. He resigned here, which is fair. I mean, I think he's just there's no counterplay. He's down a pawn. We checked on the computer. Interesting that the computer suggests b5. It's kind of cool. The only move is like b5 to even have a chance.
Black is still losing. It's like +2 for white. But it's interesting. It's light.
It's light. I think that's why I wanted to note that.
And it doesn't even want to take it.
Yeah, there's no need to take.
Okay, rook c2 is still winning for white. But it's light. It's all about light at the end.
b5 is at least a whisper of hope on light.
And we can take either way. Again, rook postulate's nice.
And rook takes this way, and then the king comes up to d3.
Might as well exchange a little bit.
But I think that's kind of cool. Look, you got to know these kind of positions. What it's about light. When both sides have a dark bishop, no one has light. Light is free for all, and light is high value.
That's
rare.
Where weaknesses
because
are.
It's rare. Well, I wouldn't say weakness. No one's
Possible
weak on light.
Weaknesses. Possible.
Yeah, or lack of harmony by definition is a weakness. You need harmony. Always strive for harmony. Yeah, everyone's striving for harmony. It's good, and light is important and hard to get. Okay.
All right, fantastic. So
game against Crush here.
Marine Crush.
Okay, we can see this here. This is cool because we've seen a game before already. It's gonna be our second game against Crush in this course.
Oh, she changed the white.
Yeah, Bishop 8. She plays early Bishop 8. She's such a good positional player. Like this is an old game, and she just knew this as a kid. Like she just played every move well. Every move. I've always had trouble against her. Actually, I had a tournament not too long ago where I had a very great tournament. I beat a couple of very strong GMs, but I ended up winning the tournament outright first. But she beat me, and she's had my number for quite a bit. Very strong positional player. Bishop A6. She was a kid, and she knew to play like this. So Bishop A6. Bishop takes. We're both kids, but again, she's playing perfect positional play. Castle, and I again, this is.
What about light? C4?
C4, yeah, I didn't play this, but what about it? I think it's a little artificial, but I just feel like she'll play like D5. It's just
yeah.
Like I feel like it's too much. Like
too much development too, and F4 is out of place.
Yeah, I would rather try to get the light with like Queen D3. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, Queen D3 is interesting because then we follow up with Knight D2 and E4, right?
Yeah. If we go back actually when Bishop A6, right when Bishop A6 was played. Yeah, take. Yeah, it's okay. Take. And actually,
oh wow,
E4. You could play Queen E2. Yeah, E4. I think is Queen D3. Yeah, hitting. Yeah.
So symbolism
of light. Yeah, you could do this. I believe. Okay. Yeah. So E4 actually, I found this. I didn't know this at the time, but I think E4 is a good way to play. Anyway, Knight F3, Knight C7, Castle, Bishop E7, Knight D2 is a little. It's alright, probably.
But she let us play E4.
E4. Did I play it?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, E4 is light, and then E5. I was very happy.
We get some space. We kick back the knight.
Yeah, and at this point, you don't take the knight. You play Queen E2. The reason why you don't take it just gets the monkey wrench. It's just too annoying. The pawn.
The D4 pawn is a weakness.
Yeah. So Queen E2 is good. We're very happy. Again, I want to really address this position. It's really important to address this. When you play E5, I know it's not a pawn on light, but you're almost beyond light. You've gotten light. You've conquered E4. When you go from E4, we usually go back 2 moves. So we just show. This keep it at D5. D5 is played. This position, you play E5. He doesn't control E4. She has one knight. It's not. You kick it out. The E5 has annexed light. That's what space is. Everything behind it is mine. Light and dark. You've bricks of layers is mine. Done. And it's like a steamroller. F5 is coming. Light is net. There's more light to come. But E5, and I think again we'll see a game coming against Rajabov in this line, a similar.
If we're given time, maybe this.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, at some point, it's a slow squeeze. G4, you gotta be a little careful about here. They play F5, but King H1, maybe Queen David 3, the Queen, and then F5, maybe.
Sure.
We could see that, but yeah, at some point, F5 she plays, and I think you have to take on Passan. I think that's important.
You don't think this is a viable strategy?
No, they don't move. She doesn't move. She plays. She ignores, and then what do you do? It's just too solid.
We're lacking light. If we had a light squared bishop, then his rook takes is impossible.
Yeah, we're like kind of we take on Passant, then we're like, you know what? How about your e pawn? Like it's just an honest question, and there may not be any clean answer. Like you're saying, well, look at the e pawn. It's a backwards pawn. How happy can you be if you just look at the e pawn here? It's not that good. Yeah, so we're reasonably happy. All right, so Bishop E3, Rook E1, okay, Queen F2, tickling the C5, Queen G3. A4. Okay, she's playing well. She's getting the knight to E4, but I traded, and she says no. She says no, thank you. And we build up. This is kind of cool. E6, and again, it's light. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter exactly what square. I mean, it does matter, but point is that it's going to vary the squares. But you have a dark bishop, you can go after light, and particularly the stone wall, you go after light.
So she plays knight f5 here, and I was wondering about. Well, I was thinking g4 for a moment, and well, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to play. I mean, it's hard to continue. You don't play g4 too. I'm gonna be honest. No, g4. I mean, I recommended it many times. But you know what? When in doubt, do not play g4. That's a good rule of thumb. Do not. There's a reason why people do not usually play g4. It's because the king is there. You know what?
Teamer's corrected me at least 4 times recently about g4. He's do you have no
you
fear?
Might be playing it too much. Yeah. It's actually a little. Sometimes there are times for it. Sometimes people will say never to, and then we're saying here in the Stonewall, it happens to be okay. But don't overdo it. If you're not sure, you might actually not. It's a good chance it's not good. So what happened here? So knight f3. No, knight f3 is clean. It's going to g5. Okay, knight f3. Going to g5. Fine. Queen. Knight g.
Light.
Again, hitting light. We hit all the key points, and we can kind of just see how quickly how the rest went. It was a complicated game, but we could scroll through it. Knight takes. Take. Gonna just scroll through it. It's an endgame. Okay.
3 pieces are nice.
Queen f3 is acting as light. That's important. h3.
Light rebuild.
Yeah.
And restricted.
It wasn't perfectly played, but okay, yeah. Bishop g3, king g2. Yeah, take, the bishop. And she might have been okay here, but... Oh, the king's coming around. King possibly coming around light. Getting b3 in. Yeah, b3. That's important.
So, and...
Yeah, she one move to... Yeah, why don't she play knight
f5? Well, maybe because of that?
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right, maybe. Yeah, okay, good. She still might have had to try it. Only chance. A king here, and then bishop e3.
Yeah, you can't...
4 squares.
Yeah, distance 4, and it's like the king postulate. Maybe she should have stopped the king postulate, right?
She should have tried, yeah. Okay, and then c4 is light, final light break, and it's all over now. Okay, bishop b4 again.
Distance 4. Okay,
distance 4. Okay, king. Yeah, I never heard of it like that. Okay, king d6, d5. Oh yeah, and the final blows on dark. We did have a
light,
dark bishop,
but with dark
intentions. Have we seen that again? All right, interesting game. Next game, Nigel Short. This was a fun game to play. This was years ago, and it was might have been my first win against Nigel Short. He plays that same the bishop coming around. We kind of he plays d6, and the idea is when they don't allow knight e5, we get the pawn to e5. Well, it's a bit much. One thing at a time. The key is the first things first is instead you can't get the knight to e5. It's impossible. We just show that you cannot get a knight e5 because the pawn, his pawn at d6. All right, we show it right. But if the pawn will go to e5 instead, that's when we're going to demand that square, and that's what I think kind of happens. All right, knight David 5. He's very tricky, to say the least.
He knows how to.
No kidding.
He knows how to attack our pawns.
Nigel Short is tricky is a bit of an understatement of the century. Okay, e6 castle. Okay.
Again, defending b4. Maybe c4 will come. Maybe takes c4.
Yeah. Queen e1. We've seen this idea before. h6. We could. Queen g3 again. It's an interesting line, just to kind of give you guys perspective.
Just some funky play here.
Knight f6, e4. Queen h3 not yet. Maybe I should have played e4. Maybe
e4
not.
immediately is kind of interesting too.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, maybe a knight h5. All right, bishop d2. At some point I play rook e1, build up, and now I play e4. Yeah, you build up. I think it's important. You don't need to rush e4. You gotta chill.
You develop other pieces first.
Yeah, build up. This is not going away. You're gonna try. Okay, so e4. Yeah. Pawn takes.
Yeah.
I know you're going to go on a side. I can't stop. Okay. Knight takes, and again, notice e6. We've seen it before. E6 being a little loose, right? Like in the Arena Crush game. Again, the e6 is a loose pawn. We've seen this before. Okay, and now go ahead. Rook takes. Okay, and now
knight g5.
And if he takes, I think he's dead because queen h7 and king, and then pawn takes pawn, and it's over. It's really strong. Okay, fine. So we go. That's a good motif. Knight g5 hitting light. Okay, what happens here? c4. Okay, and then here back. Fine. Now we have the golden bishop, the golden light square bishop, right? The golden. Okay, bishop back. Okay, good.
g4, g5, light square.
g5. Yeah, now is the time for g4. Now is the time.
Now that the center is closed.
Do it when you can't help. Like, it's too good. I have to play it. All right, now you do it. When you're like, how can I play it now? All right, fine, play it now. But don't force it. Don't force it. Play it when you're like, position's erupting. You did well. You deserve G4.
Mm-hmm.
Deserve a piece of cheesecake. Okay.
Do I deserve a piece of cheesecake?
Not yet. Almost. Okay. Okay.
I was thinking maybe I was having too much sugar, but if you offered, I mean, I think I'd change my mind, you know? Those are some pretty good cheesecakes.
That's good. Exactly. Yep. Okay, and now we break in. Build up. The piece that's swarming over, and it was interesting. H5.
H-pawn.
The H-pawn is so strong. Look how the Dark Bishop is quiet, but it really does an important job. And
ultimately, the H-pawn wins.
Yeah, the H-pawn just breaks through, and that was that. Then we make a second queen, and
free pieces are good.
Trade, and
I like free pieces.
Fine. Mm-hmm. And then little by little. Oh, you know what's funny? This wins, but you know what's funny if you go back. Anyways, this wins, of course, but it's kind of cool. We'll go back 2 more moves. Here, after B4, I love A4. It's so symbolic, too. Light, final light break. He has almost no moves. He has to go. Yeah, it's just kind of cool. It's something like these days I would do that. Back then, I'm like, I have to. I didn't know enough, really. But A4 is kind of cool. Okay. Plus, I was panicking playing Nigel Short and winning. So, okay.
And then
the final brick, King C4. What is it symbolic of?
Light rebuild.
Light rebuild.
And
swing of light. Yeah, hitting on light.
King postulate.
Yeah.
Time for the next game.
Okay, and here we go. We have a game against my game against Driev. Okay, we have a couple games we could see. All right, here we go. So D4, D5, E3, Bishop D3, Knight G7, F4, Knight F6, and he's clamping down on light. It's kind of creative. It's super. He was the same Knight H6 again. What he's going after light. Both knights are tickling light. H6. We're going to just show that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
H6, and then another knight is. Look at the whole radius. Both knights, the full radius on light. F6, G4. The H6 knight hitting G4. The F6 knight's hitting G4. Could you just show that?
Mm-hmm.
Hitting both knights hitting G4 as well.
Yeah.
We just show the arrows, please. And G4. Yeah, everything. So it's just a full radius, and again, it's a lot of tempi. But Driev is saying, hey, you're weak on light. You may have all these ideas of pawns on dark, piece energy on light, but like, hey, you're weak on light. He's kind of trying to show, like, hey, I'm going to punish you and thoroughly outplay you, kid. I was really young, too. Bishop F5 is cool. I mean, Driev is like a positional, like legend of legends. I mean, so it's kind of cool to see this, and I think he did a good job outplaying me here. I'm not going to lie.
Then we have the light rebuilder.
And E4, yeah. So we played solid, and then E4. And then he takes, and knight takes, and I was doing fine here. Yeah, I think this was quite fine. C3, let's see what I play. C3 is fine. C4 I know you like sometimes.
C4 is the light rebuilder, though, right?
Maybe, but I'm not so sure if we need it. Maybe it's close. Maybe here it's okay. Maybe it's not too loose. Okay, but anyway, C3, yeah, maybe C4 an idea. Queen C7, 95 is artificial. I don't think 95.
Yeah,
because 95 gets too weird. It's too quick.
F4 is kind of weakening, maybe. Our light harmony is not working.
Yeah, he played so great. Yeah, exactly.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, we are down.
We're down a couple of pawns. We can see how the endgame went, and down
These
one
are
pawn.
pretty strong pawns.
Yeah, we can see. Okay, yeah.
And black went on to win. You have to play accurate.
Oh, look at this! We're trying to get C4 to get a light rebuild, and he says no.
We could have rebuilt that earlier. Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I don't know. We just overstep with some moves, especially 95. This is kind of cool. We could learn some things not to do. This is one of those games which teach us what not to do.
Right, so...
And look at this. Look how he outplayed us. Bishop,
final light,
and he tickles it.
Dark
and he cracks on our color. We're head on dark, the dark money. He's saying, I don't care. I'm going to beat you on your own color as C3 and symbolic. And I resigned, of course.
Right, so going back was perhaps... 95 was too inflexible.
Yeah, even C4, maybe even C4 instead of C3, and certainly C3 is okay though.
It's already I'm wondering what went wrong here? Is E4 wrong? Is this?
No. E4 is okay.
We can sort of also develop. Yeah, but
it's okay.
This is a really tricky setup. Like when we lose the light fight, we're in trouble. So we have to fight.
You also could do nothing and play B3 and Bishop Boy 2. I don't mind
probably
E4.
Okay with that. Let's get the light rebuilder.
Yeah, E4 we can see. Let's see. Take. Bishop takes. Take. Okay. Well, normal. C3 probably okay. C4 might be a little better. But 95 is too quick. The idea of 95, it just kind of gets in the way. We're not ready for it. We're not going to mate him. Basically, you know what's important to say is 95 is if you're going to mate him. If you have no chance of mating him, you don't need 95. It doesn't do anything. So don't play by road. I think that's one of the best things we could say to the student is Stonewall is not by road. It's a canvas for exploration of colors. And 95, instead of 95, go back a move, please. 95, I would just say bishop d2. No problem. I don't see a problem.
Oh, what about this?
Oh, yeah, he's taking, so g3. I don't know, g3. Yeah, it's fine. If c5, and if he goes c5, you take. There's no problem. They take king g2, no problem. Again, no problem taking. C5 is something to take, and white's doing well. Queenside majority. 3 versus 2. It's no problem. It's no problem. We're happy now. Look at his knight at h6. I'm not a fan of that. What's so good about that? All right. So, anyways, that was an interesting game. We can see next game against Driev. Okay. Yeah. c4 maybe very good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next game against Driev.
Please. We'll scroll through this. e4. Okay.
Yakov has improved his Stonewall again significantly since the first game with Driev. So we'll see that in this game. He played a different setup though.
He played differently. Okay, here, and we have this knight d2, and maybe e4, e5 is going to come.
Yeah, a3 first though, because cd4 you want to.
Yeah, they show the b4 square. In some cases,
like,
he takes.
Do we like what's happening here? Is this good? I don't know.
No need to get too involved.
Yeah,
we just got to know that a3 can help. It's okay. We don't need to see. We don't need to see.
Okay. So.
But yeah, sometimes a3 is okay. Yeah. Okay. E4. As he played e5, which instead of allowing us, but then this is important. We push. And then take, and we're much.
Oh, we even just won a pawn.
We could win a pawn. I don't know if I took it. I did take it.
You did. Wow.
Sometimes even if you don't have the pawn, though, sometimes you don't even want the pawn.
Then we have this, and
again, we're better at much better because of the d5, a protected pass pawn. If we just show the d5 pawn.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a protected pass pawn. Okay. All right, go ahead. Yeah. Knight takes. Yeah, happy to take. Knight f3. I think c4 I played soon. Yeah. C4 is good. Queen e1 on dark. Queen h4. Dark weapon. Yeah, E5.
He just blundered this.
Yeah, he blundered it, but he was dead anyway. Again, we show E5 why it's strong because of H7, right? It opens up the mate attack. Yeah, so he blundered a piece, but blunders come easily in bad positions. That's the okay.
And Black resigned.
Yeah, so that was good. Okay, that was an interesting game. Next game against Driev, one more, a couple trio against Driev. Very positional. Oh, b6 a little slow. That guy made a crush. He trades bishops. We take it then queen e2 and queen e2 light and e4. Yeah. Don't get to again. It's interesting that we don't play f4. Once you don't have the attack, you don't need it. Same way in cheesecake.
f4 is much stronger when you have the light squared bishop.
Yeah, and if you don't have light, I think that's actually fair to say. When you don't have light bishop, if you haven't played f4 yet, I would say 9 out of 10 times you don't. There's no need to block in the dark bishop to get more dark when you don't have enough light. And
even when we play like against the King's Indian, for example, we don't play f4. We play the cheesecake with bishop e2 because bishop d3 would end the light attack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's sometimes f4 is on this. F4 is on that. Yeah. Right, bishop e3 goes in bricks. Again, the key is you don't follow blindly the attack when you can't attack. That's important. f4 is going to be overkill sometimes, and that's one of the cases. So again, here you got to an endgame.
Really interesting endgame.
We're doing all right.
It's a little ahead in development. There's still the queenside majority.
Yeah. Rook c1, rook d1. That's a good way. King f1 towards the center.
King postulate, yeah.
Yeah, that's a kind of cool. They just play naturally. Take. Yeah, maybe b4. Okay, f4 is fine.
White still has the queenside majority. It's maybe nothing much, but still kind of nice.
Yeah, it's small.
Small edge.
Interesting. b4. King c3, b5, yeah. Yeah, b5 with light with dark intentions. The idea is to play eventually. We show c5. The arrows could show that. Again, b5 is light with dark at some point dark intentions. Yeah. So.
Exactly.
Okay. Here, knight b3. Trading is okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna get them. King b4 is such a cozy king.
And then we have those pass pawns coming up.
a4, a5, a6.
Oh, that's true.
a4, a5, a6, and then rook e7. Snag his a7 pawn. And we squeeze the juices of so much light, and the dark evaporates. Same way as almost a full switch from the Stonewall. The dark pawns on dark, we hit on light, squeeze on light juices. Here we have so much light, squeeze the dark juices. So it's kind of interesting switch. Once we lose the light bishop, we switch everything onto light, flip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Give it the pawn.
Maybe it's passers now. This is gonna be.
But rook a2. Yeah, rook a2.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of an error for Black.
In the what?
A bit of a mistake.
Yeah. He got a little greedy, and now we went up. This is kind of cool.
Time scramble now. It's kind of interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah. Check.
kind of.
Making a bridge for the king. Okay.
Bridges can be pretty good.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
is
not
this
sure.
even?
Again.
Oh, here
Oh
it's like.
yeah. If he takes.
Oh yeah, we have that.
Probably winning. Yeah, probably winning. Okay,
Nice,
fair
nice.
enough. Little king pass. Yeah. Okay.
And then black ran out of time.
Even at time, but probably winning.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, interesting game. All right, so next we have
Some nice stone walls. Now it's time for the cheesecake.
Okay.
You made me put those cheesecakes away. I think I was eating too much on camera. It's a bit much. Now they're in the fridge, and I can't even reach them so easily here. It's like, but the cheesecake here.
Reward with the cheesecake at the end.
Can I at least have the hat back?
You can have the hat.
Thank you. Bit. Yeah, because I haven't been too off track now, have I?
Yeah,
all right. For now.
That's good. Okay, D4, here we go, D4, and then we have against, El Duque is Marcel Martinez. Growing up, I was, I think I was 15 at the time, he was 18, he was like the top kid in the country, and it was very strong, and this was a nice win I had. I think it was one of my first really, really big wins in the cheesecake I was super proud of. Very memorable, I remember it very clearly. Okay. Knight f3, bishop g7, bishop b2, castle d6. We've seen b3, bishop c5, bishop b2, knight c6. Okay, c4.
Maybe light bishop.
b6, knight c3, bishop a7, queen c2. Okay, maybe queen. Yeah, actually, we'd recommend d5 in this case. I think this is one of the cases where d5 can be played. Anyway,
tempo.
We don't have to go too detailed, but yeah, it's a tempo. It's probably really good. Rook d1, no problem. Rook e1.
Well, d5 was played down.
D5 is good. I'm also going to mention that in this game we had queen c2, often queen d2.
Yeah,
it's always tricky, but I think here, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Queen b1, and the queen is e4 getting space. Yeah, bishop coming back,
keeping it solid, some nice space advantage, and the weak dark squares.
Yeah, we trade bishops, and the pawns on light are going to pave the way for dark energies of the pieces. e5 is good. Yeah, e5. Okay, rook takes, and again, if we see the pawns on light, but the pieces are squeezing on dark. And e7, the queen's going to watch. The queen's definitely going to go to dark. He actually blundered here.
Oh wow!
Because d6 again, it's on dark. D6 and a home run, and if he moves a knight, he goes to d7.
If he didn't, I'm thinking of ideas like let's say maybe queen c1, queen h6 with bishop d3 and rook h5, and if takes, you have mates.
Yeah. An attack. Even the knight can hop in. You know what the knight's going to hop into?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Get to f6 one day or g4 or something on dark. Yeah, even before you play these. Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, it's big things going on dark. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
His bishop on b7 is terrible too. All right. Go ahead.
It's like we have our mini bishop, they have their tall pawn.
Yeah.
Comes full circle.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go, and then here,
nice.
take.
And we've already rebuilt the light over there a little bit.
Yeah, solid. Bishop f1, very solid. Humble and secure. Yeah. Okay, f3, light rebuild. Yeah, a little more light rebuild. Knight David 3. Knight f2, we're going to see that again. The knight twists into f6, into dark. Queen f4. And coming back, all right. Queen h6. So this was kind of cool. And this is actually what you were saying. Yeah, so you actually predicted the key moments here. And that's very good, yeah. So rook h5, he takes. Knight f6.
Mate.
Yeah, he's bravely broken. So he didn't take, but of course he's in rough shape. And this was cool. This was I was really proud of. I remember when it happened, I'm like, wow, what just happened? And then we'll go a little slower. We'll go back. Again, rook takes e6. Rook takes e6. Deflection. He takes. Of course, he has to take. Queen takes. Queen h8. Rook h. And then queen d8. And rook c7. I believe I had seen all this. And at the time, this is like the first time ever I had a combination like this. Again, certainly against such a strong player.
Well done.
I was like, wow, that was a magical moment. This is probably my most early, my first real magical cheesecake I've played. I've tasted, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Thank you. Okay, this is against Gregory Brailovsky. This is a game I was referencing earlier, I believe. Let's see how the... maybe not. Maybe actually... I played it in person with some lines, but this was online. Yeah, cheesecake style. I think we take here. Yeah, we take.
Freeing our bishop?
Freeing the bishop. Also C5 is a little bug.
Isolated pawn now coming up.
It's a dark bug. He has weakness on the king side, also combined with C5. It's an issue.
Symbolic of dark.
Yeah, okay. C4, E6, knight C3, C1, knight A4, big move. Tickling C5, very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Positional approach here. Knight E5, trading, no problem.
And the same idea of this bishop just sitting on the center with pressure on the diagonal.
Yeah, and by trading, the knight on D7, we just show the knight used to be on D7.
Uh-huh.
We're going to just show that knight on David 7 is protecting C5.
We're moving the defender.
Yeah, little by little, he has
Preparing
less
maybe takes.
We're gonna outplay. He's gonna run out of ideas, run out of defenders. We take F3, and then he loses the pawn. Look how he just loses a pawn.
3 pawns are nice.
C5 is okay. A little slower, a little slower. Again, so it's
It's an extra pawn.
extra pawn. All right. Knight, he pins us.
King postulate.
Rook C7. And also, King E3, King on dark. And that's Bishop C4 is tickling the pawns. Knight D3. Okay, well, hold on. The knight D3 is
Russian knight.
You Russian knight. Also E5. Again, we have no dark bishop, but look how our king and our knight, even our rook, is angling towards the dark squares. Okay, pawn takes. Knight F2, very solid. Bishop D3, securing E4. The knight coming around.
Knight G5.
Yeah, coming into the position. Knight G5. Coming back out. A5, rook takes. Rook D5, there we go. Take, knight F3. King takes. Oh, hold on. H4. What is H4 symbolic of?
Dark rebuild.
Dark rebuild. B4. Same dark. G3, don't take. G3, tight on dark, tight. Pawns on dark, bishop on light. A good harmony here.
Mm-hmm.
B5, and he's over. He's actually dead here because we're going to play
Bishop D5.
Bishop D5.
With B7 coming up, and we promote.
Yeah. So that was a nice little flow of the into the endgame. I think it's nice to see that full flow of the cheesecake into the endgame. This was, I think it was very instructive.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, and this is actually Eugene Torrey. This is Eugene Torrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. Eugene Torrey is legend of legends. I mean, he was the first Asian. He was friends with Fischer. He was close friends with Fischer. Yeah. He was one of Fischer's close friends, and he's the first Asian grandmaster. Very. When I was in the Philippines, everyone knows him. He's like famous, like not just chess players. Like he's very big fame. So extreme celebrity and very very big legendary chess player. Okay.
So Bishop G4, that's kind of interesting. Are we going to get the bishop pair at some point with H3, or are we just going to keep it normal and say bishop is out of play?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a couple ways to play. I like Bishop E2. Just kind of wait and see what happens.
An early E5. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is different. Yeah, Knight C3, B3, Bishop A2.
Standard cheesecake. But Knight H4.
Knight H4 was kind of cool. I thought because to get into live, I've done this here and there. Yeah, Knight H4 to get to F5. Trading bishops and the knight takes. And Knight F5 is fine.
Light brick.
D5, yeah, now light. We lost our light bishops. We have our mini bishops coming into its own.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy to see this. Knight F4.
Good assault ratio going on there.
Okay, yeah. Queen C2, queen on light as a light bishop. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Knight G3.
Well, are we winning that?
We did. Oh, we didn't.
Oh.
Okay, King H1. I think I might have seen this already. Yeah. And then pawn takes.
Well, at least we get the open file. Ugly castling.
No, it's good for us.
We have this nice attack.
We're up a pawn too.
Oh, he sacked, but he didn't.
Yeah, he did need to sack. Otherwise,
he was
winning.
Otherwise, it's big trouble with Rook G1. And I think it's. I mean, do we play Rook G1 here?
No, I don't think it's Queen H4. It doesn't work.
That's true.
If you just show that first,
yeah, that's actually really interesting because I was just wondering if like the queen defended and we take, but it just.
Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, we'd like to. It's
my weaknesses come out.
He hits us on light again. It's not by chance. Not by chance. He's hitting us on light with a light bishop. Right?
Mm-hmm. My biggest weakness in chess is getting checkmated.
That's fine. All right.
Takes.
Take. Yeah.
G1.
Yeah. King H2. Okay, king.
Solid king.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, our king had to go on our journey. Probably wasn't that well played, but okay.
It wasn't?
I don't know how well our king was supposed to. I think our king could have stayed better on G2.
I think Petrosian would have been pretty happy with this game. Would Nimzovich have approved?
Yeah, I suppose so. All right, thank you. All right, so we'll see. Okay.
It's like the king postulate. It's like therapy.
King postulate.
It's like just
a therapeutic king postulate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a massage. The king postulate.
It's like what could be more relaxing than a king postulate?
Exactly. Okay. King E2, Queen G2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and okay, he blundered.
3 pieces are good pieces.
This was a time scramble here, of course.
Oh, queen sacrifice.
Yeah, it was a real
time.
I think we had literally like each like a
like
second.
1 second, 2 seconds.
Yeah, like it was extreme, but most of the game was pretty well played. And
Respect,
I think it was.
Respect.
If we go quickly back to the opening, the first 5 moves, very, very, just for a moment, we could Maybe give a... Okay, go ahead
In the
here.
sidelines, this you usually can't go wrong with this.
This is okay. Well, hold on. This bishop... Yeah, I would... Oh, gosh.
Would H3?
What would I recommend here?
Would I even play E3 here? Maybe even...
Oh, no! Yeah, these days I don't play... I don't play... hold on. G3. I mean, this is...
Oh, yeah, Hikaru goes for
we
this
don't have
stuff.
to go into this,
Because if he goes for this structure, we get to put the bishop on the
G2,
diagonal and can really clamp down.
And
Pressure on the open file.
The golden bishop.
Yeah.
Make it count. G3, bishop G2, a pocket, you make it count. A pocket. You make it count. E3 is a little... Again, I was a victim of being too doggedly playing cheesecake. I was too dogged playing...
Oh, and we're fianchettoing because of the weakness, right?
Very good, yeah. So that's interesting. Anyway, side thing, but that's good. Kind of maybe somewhat helpful.
The accelerated London's gone a bit too far, but the weakness on B7 still come out.
That's good. That's good. Okay, next game is against Karyakin. This is yeah, very nice. It is the next game against Karyakin. We can kind of see that. That was a game I was proud of. I did lose this game, but it was... Oh, I know.
No, you won.
I won. This game I won.
Well, I mean...
Okay, fine. Oh, there's a game I lost. I don't even have it here, but I actually was crushing him. Or fine, maybe...
Yeah, this
is... add that in. Okay, knight d4.
Smooth position. What, E5, really?
Yeah, this is a cheesecake. Yeah, E5 is aggressive. Knight B5, okay.
I mean...
D6 a backwards pawn. Yeah, backwards pawn. Go ahead.
I don't really see how you can get away with this, but...
Yeah, it's hard for him to defend.
Like, if you defend the knight, for example, you just lose right away.
Oh, yeah. Queen takes and knight c7. Beautiful. Very
Symbolic
nice.
of?
Dark. We're ahead on dark. Can you explain why we're ahead on dark?
We're ahead on dark because we have a knight against their lights for bishop.
Always look for the imbalance. It's a knight. We should show the arrow. We should show the circle. Knight against light bishop means he's ahead on light. We're ahead on dark. And
it's because of this exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very similar to a similar position where we exchanged on c6 and had the c5 square.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, how do you know your dark is more valuable than light? You don't know.
We don't, but we know what we're playing for.
When you know, you know. Like, but you do know you're ahead on dark, and that's why it'll give laser eyes. Oh, c7, d6. You're just zoning in those squares, knowing.
Now I'm really zoning in.
Yeah, maybe.
Like its ideas.
Again, bishop a3 was sometimes good, but often it's a bit.
It's kind of interesting because now what's the imbalance here? No, it's about equal, but now they have a lot of weaknesses, pawn weaknesses, yeah. Oh.
Okay, 6. A4 I was pretty proud of, actually, because it protects
the
knight.
If takes, we could take with the bishop.
Take with the bishop, yeah, take with the bishop, I think. And this was cool, and this is much different than any normal lines, but I thought this
dark?
was important. Queen d2, dark, yeah, very good.
Dark energies.
D1, and we're tickling d6, e5, h5, and I take that, yeah.
3 pawns are nice. Yes, more dark energies.
We had that in one of the games. Yeah, we had that in a game against Kosteniuk. If you guys want to reference the game in the previous chapter against Kosteniuk, it was a big f4. It was f4 also. It was both. It was a spin. It was different pieces, but it was a spin image of that f4. A very high similarity. I would say instructive to take a look at that if you guys want. Okay,
fantastic. It's like we have the pawn and the compensation.
Yeah, yes. Pawn and we take on dark
and the king.
Yeah, Queen g5. Rook f7. I knew that dark bishop. I take the battery out of his position.
Again, defending g2.
Yeah. Rook takes. Now the dark bishop becomes.
The dark bishop becomes a lot stronger. I mean, did you
golden bishop?
Oh yeah, the golden bishop, and then we break through.
And yes, and we were more than willing to sacrifice the rook to get that golden bishop. Okay.
Here's kind of interesting. Can we take here and then allow him to take, and then maybe we make this queen?
No, then queen e3 actually. Queen e3.
Oh no. Oh no, my old weakness of getting checkmated comes back to bite me. I really need to work on getting checkmated. It's a bad habit of mine.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, dark. Actually, we're controlling that e3 square, and we're preparing to take on e7 possibly, and e6, and actually we're just taking all the pieces.
h4, yeah. Bishop d4.
More dark.
Taking everything. Queen f6, forcing a trade a bit. He resigned.
Being up lots of pieces is pretty nice.
The final mates on the dark square. You show g7, h8, show the mating ideas. No, if you just go back a second.
Well, we were threatening checkmate here and here.
Dark, yeah.
I remember a similar mating pattern where I blundered against Daniel Rodriguez in a game maybe 4 years ago, and in time pressure, I saw one of the mates and defended and missed the other.
Wow. Okay.
So, what's actually the material count here?
Yeah, no, we're way ahead. We have 2 pieces
and
for
some
rook
pawns.
And a lot of pawns. It's hopeless.
Yeah,
so you played a few more moves, maybe? Or,
no, you just resigned.
Just resigned, yeah, that's fair, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is against, I think, a strong Indian IM or something. Yeah, Nakachuk.
The Trojan Bobbin in 1963? That idea is coming out soon. We're going to have to actually cover that game.
Yeah. Hold on. So this is a cheesecake, and we've seen this line before.
Yeah.
And then knight c3, and this line here, knight b5, knight g5, yeah. There's a lot of ideas. Okay, we can see. Knight G5. Hold on. Knight G5 with two ideas. Hitting F7 and getting the E4 to D6. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Light it. Hey, hold on. Bishop E4 forces E6. We take with the bishop. That's actually instructive because we often want to keep the bishop pair, but the knight on E4 would be huge, right?
Yes, exactly.
We had a game very similar, very the same line and very similar. Yeah.
I just love that. An isolated pawn is not only a pawn weakness, it is also a square weakness. Now we have this outpost square on E4, and those pawns are weak in the long run, and bishop G7 is restricted, but mainly E4 outpost.
Yeah.
And also free pieces are nice.
Oh wow, we jumped right in. Oh my goodness, we get everything, and then we just take everything.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah. Again, we show this quickly, but again, this is
when you're up lots of pieces, it's simple.
Yeah. But hold on, maybe we see it quickly how we won the material.
The king. The king.
Yeah. King possibly the king on light. Just show how we won the material for a second.
Sure. I mean, well, we have these outposts, lots of weaknesses coming in.
Yeah, and then what do you play here? Knight D7, and then Knight D6. Actually, cool.
Forked.
Yeah, we're just rampaging everything. So he goes to B8, and we take look at those two knights and terrorizing him. And what did he play?
Well, we got
one exchange, and we won more. It's just the knights like a wheel of fortune, a Ferris wheel rather. Yeah,
a Ferris wheel of fortune.
Ferris wheel. Yeah, exactly. H3, a light rebuild. F4, we're seeing a lot of F4s at dark.
I really might need to get after looking at these games, we really need to get those cheesecakes out of the fridge to celebrate.
Absolutely.
You didn't hide them since.
That's nice.
Oh, okay. F5.
F5, yeah, okay. A little light, maybe.
Typical light, yeah.
Okay, we take, no problem. Knight E4, just trade a little bit. Okay, king coming back.
King posture got a bit frisky, but you come back.
Yeah, that's fine. And then
Rook D6 wasn't really necessary.
Oh, yeah, you could have taken, yeah.
But time pressure.
I actually like it. No, I actually like it. No, I like it a lot. No, I like it very, very much.
Huh, can you explain?
Because, go back. We're way ahead of material. We're up to a pawn, about to be 2.
Oh, yeah, we are.
He has Rook F2. He has ideas. Give him back what he wants. You'll get a second pawn.
That's true.
Yeah,
and
E5
is hanging.
If he takes a knight, he takes, and Rook takes.
And then bishop takes E5, and we've simplified
King
quite
H7,
well.
King H7.
Bishop takes E5.
Yeah, this is a great position. This is perfect.
Fantastic.
This is much better than before, because before it was haphazard.
The problem is before we were calculating.
Exactly. Yeah. Giving back some material. Let's see how it ended. Let's see how it went. And then we just traded rooks.
Yeah, very simple.
Okay, here we go. We have a game against Kamel Mitan, and I think we can just see some of the general ideas.
This is one of Yakov's older games in the Cheesecake, and he ended up misplaying it. So we're showing some typical mistakes so that you don't repeat them.
Yeah, so you don't have to suffer the same way I did. Okay, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I haven't had as much time to make mistakes in the Cheesecake yet, so...
Yeah, exactly. Okay, B3, C5, bishop B2, take, D6, C4, castle.
Well, it actually got quite a good position at this point.
At this point, I played queen D2 is all right, and now rook C1 already is a bit of a mistake.
The C file never really opens up. You'd rather play, instead of rook C1, you'd rather play rook D1.
D1 is just better, yeah. And then queen C1 to A1 is
with good dark sort control and pressure on the diagonal.
Good. Okay, so I played rook C1, and this is an interesting game. Bishop F3, Bishop C6, take. I get a golden light square bishop. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, this is an interesting imbalance. White has more light, black has more dark. But when you have a color imbalance, you need to play on your color with your pieces and try to push this. And in the game, White ended up playing.
The light bishop was a golden bishop. I didn't respect it enough, and I think we could have done a little better. Okay, rook C8.
A3, B4 is an interesting idea with B5 playing on light. There's other ideas.
Go back a move. Yeah. So again, maybe I should have played A3, B4, B5.
Light. Or knight e2, knight d4. Again, light.
Or knight e2 to d4. Again, tickling light, and to try and use my what I do have. I think it's very important. Whenever one has a golden bishop, to appreciate it and use that. Okay, we'll just go through and see how it went. Okay, here we go. Bishop g4.
E4 though.
E4 was blocking the bishop and putting pawns on light when I already have light, and it's not enough dark. We want, again, very important theme of this game, which we mentioned earlier in the course. In this Cheesecake, almost always to keep... Well, there are cases you push e4, e5, but if you can't get to e5, you probably don't push to e4. Okay, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, we have to respect our golden bishop here.
h5. Okay, bishop e2 here.
And so black was doing very well.
F4 is...
We're trying to play on dark now, but they have good control.
They have a head on $500 of dark.
So we're not going to win that dark fight. We have to play on for light, and
let's see what happens.
Ultimately, it just doesn't work. Black has too much activity. Knight takes c4 is a nice tactic. If takes.
Okay, good. So that was a good move for him. And then he broke us on dark. The A1 bishop is actually dark. Okay, A3. Here we go. Oh, yeah, H3. Queen D2. I don't want to trade queens. I grovel a little bit.
It's losing.
Yeah, you gotta do your best. It's no losing win. I mean, I'm definitely worse and losing, but you gotta just play. with a best play losing, but you got to play. It's,
Yeah, of course.
Never evaluation. Okay, so take, and we're fighting back. Oh, he's actually just breaking in, and again we quickly, but
final dark.
He almost made us, and actually H4 was a breakthrough, and again I know we see this very quickly, but the idea is the position disintegrated. The final dark brick, yeah.
The main idea is to respect your golden bishop, play on your color advantage, and also the idea of putting your queen behind your bishop with Retti's battery.
Yes, very important, very important. Okay, here we have a game against Margalashvili.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Here we are, and Grandmaster Margalashvili is a very, very strong player. D4, knight f6, E3. Okay, B6, F4. Okay, and this is how we play against this line, knight f3, good. And he's playing very tricky line, double fianchetto, and this is kind of helpful to see. Bishop g7, castle, knight. We're going to play e4, e5 here. Yeah,
some space advantage. Yeah.
E5, yeah, and knight e4 is important to open up the dark bishop. Oh no, hold on. To open up the dark bishop because he was threatening f4. No. If we go back a move here, knight e4 is necessary.
Just like Nigel Short.
Yeah, like the short game. So we have to play knight e4, which gets the knight out and protects the pawns. Okay, Here we are. C5, C3, very nice. Pawn takes. Rook C8, A3.
Typical
A3
idea.
is to stop. You want to just show that knight B4?
Yeah, very important idea. If we allowed knight B4, we'd getting harassed some. This is really annoying phase.
Yes, A3 is good. Okay, A3.
Mm-hmm.
Pawn takes. Now we're happy that the dark bishop opened up.
Maybe something like this. Maybe.
It's open already. Queen A1A, and then I think this is already open. So F5.
But now the white squares are kind of weak, right?
Yeah,
knight G5
to E6. Again, if the threat is to get the threat last move.
Threat in this last move.
E6, yeah, very, very strong. So he goes knight C7.
Kind of passive though now.
Bishop C4 on light, king H8.
And breakthrough.
And this was kind of cool. Here, knight takes H7. Again, knight takes.
Symbolic of light?
Breaking it on light, and it's really surprising how effective this is. It's no defense. It's incredible.
There's something interesting though. Like if we played knight f7 check instead takes.
Don't take exchange.
E6.
No exchange. Yeah, even you don't need that. Knight takes H7. Don't need it. Don't get greedy. You gotta break through. Knight takes. Yeah.
Yes, you sacrifice your pieces instead of taking pieces. I absolutely approve. 100%.
Okay, king takes. So that's to sacrifice your opponent. That's to sacrifice your opponent's pieces.
Yeah, that's true. So we are doing that. We're sacrificing our piece in order to sacrifice the opponent's piece.
Fair enough. Sacrificing our pieces with intentions. Right. We say light with dark intentions.
Piece with king leverage.
King H8, Queen E1, looking to get Queen H4 mate. And here we are. Bishop H6. Yeah, Bishop H6.
Then
Queen H4, King G7, and now Knight E6 is crushing. Opening up the bit. Yeah. Knight go ahead. Yeah. Bishop takes, that's fine, no problem. Knight takes. Queen H7, Queen takes, and it's over.
Winning everything.
The final blow is on light.
Absolutely.
On light.
The ideas I'd like to emphasize for this game are E4, E5 against sidelines with knight E4, the A3 preventing counterplay, and ultimately the sacrifices are pretty thematic as well.
Yeah, very good. All right, we'll have one more game for now, and it's we can see Richard Rapport against Magnus Carlsen.
Sure. So this game is a game showing that the cheesecake is used even at the top level sometimes. This was a St. Louis Blitz game from 2019.
Okay, D4, F5, B3, here we go.
And one thing I remember about this game, so White was a little better from the opening, but then he doesn't go for the plan of knight takes d2 with bishop f3, playing for weak light squares, and White would be a little bit better, not to mention possible play in the center at some point.
Yeah. Okay, here we are. So queen take, go ahead.
Queen takes.
So queen, d6, knight c3, knight d7, f4. Okay, mixing a little Stonewall.
Pretty good Stonewall stuff, yeah.
c5, d5, getting that space. We've seen d5 a lot, and that's kind of important.
E5,
E4. Yeah, the full-fledged, full energy, E4. Yeah.
And this bishop is restricted, not very good.
Energy, yeah.
Takes.
E4, take.
White actually had a crushing position if...
Pawn takes, no problem.
And then
bishop
comes in. Our bishops are pointed towards the king side, f4 is falling off. And Magnus Carlsen had a losing position in 16 moves. The cheesecake can be pretty strong.
Okay. Okay.
But he didn't go for it.
So queen takes.
Bit of a missed opportunity. And here, black would have had this typical, oh my goodness, I love these blockades. How thematic is this? G5 and F4.
It's nice. Yeah. I had a chance.
With knight e5. But
it's hard to see that. Okay, it's a little shaky, but probably good.
but
Good.
It's just G5.
Yeah. G5. Good.
Okay, so takes.
Pawn takes. Yeah. Queen takes. Yeah. And now it's
just lots of
bishop
exchanges.
E3.
A little momentum was lost.
He's trying to mate it, but knight f6 was a good move. Yeah, knight f6 was good.
They agreed to draw. White might have been a little better still, but not by very much.
This was a draw. Great.
Yeah. So, but these ideas they came in the stonewall.
Squeeze, yeah, had that energy.
The cheesecake. The typical ideas of bishop f3. Also e4 breakthrough, and then Magnus Carlsen got a losing position in 15 moves. So I hope you enjoyed our course. I hope you enjoyed the color ideas.
Yeah, and this was a pleasure, going through these lines and making this course. And I think we got to see quite a bit of the opening ideas, opening lines, opening variations, opening ideas, Stonewall, the cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake. We've actually had actual cheesecakes for the first time ever we did such a thing. That was, hope you guys had fun with that. And a pleasure working.
It was an honor working with you.
Thank you. Honor and pleasure. Same here. Thank you. And
feel free to ask us if you have any questions.
Yeah, feel free to ask questions. And I think it was it was fun and it was nice to be able to talk about some general ideas too in chess. And hopefully that was helpful. And again, feel free to ask questions. So,
and maybe I'll see you soon in our upcoming Caro-Kann course.
And enjoy happy cheesecake eating.